Even the day before exam, I was appearing for Google Code Jam.
From your experience, what's one or two common mistakes you see on resumes?
I think this is very simple, but most of the time I am getting.
What about referrals? What's the right way to ask someone for a referral?
Every week I get 200, 300 requests. So definitely I'm not able to process most of them. So what people are doing.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Silicon Stories. I'm your host Vedant, and this is the show where we sit down with the people who are building the future. My guest today is someone I have been really excited to talk to. He's a brilliant software engineer, a competitive coding champion, an AI researcher, and from what I can tell, operates an about 36 hours in a 24-hour day.
So, I have to be honest. When I first saw your profile, my thought was, okay, when does this guy actually sleep? Because you are excelling in so many areas at once. I want to rewind the tape. Take me back to your first year of your college. Were you always this driven, or there was a specific movement that lit a fire under you?
Now I would like to go back to my school days. So I used to be top clever in the class, like top two, top three in the class. But sometimes if I not get the first rank, then it hurts a lot. So that competition mindset was always there. Now coming back to the college days, computer engineering in the Dharamsi Desai University, DDU Nadiad in Gujarat, basically. So when I took admission, as always, everyone's know and this happens with everyone that college is almost giving wings to everyone's life. So that chill and everything in the first year is with all of us. So that wave was there with me as well. So I was not that much into competitive coding or that much focused in the first year. And even that was a COVID year, 2020. It was a COVID year, so we all were not that much in the flow. But then something striked that I was not performing well and others are performing well, and that something struck. And in college, professors were saying that you can try competitive coding. That was a sparking moment for me that okay, let's try this one. And my friends were already doing that, and our college has labs and local contests and whatnot. So that moment it struck, and I started competitive coding, and that's where. So usually the people who like maths like competitive coding as well, and that's where I found my first hobby. I would say first hobby because in childhood everyone plays cricket and that's a hobby. But honestly, the hobby is competitive coding, which I figured out very early in my college in first semester itself. So it was very good. But then only competitive coding. Gradually, I started exploring other areas as well. So yes, that's how the college started.
That's amazing. Let's talk about one of those passion, competitive coding. You have hit some incredible ratings like expert on Codeforces, 5-star on CodeChef, guardian on Leetcode. Beyond the usual advice, what was a specific movement for you when things really started making sense for you? Was it when you finally figured out a certain kind of problem, or when you changed how you practiced?
So we were instructed to start with CodeChef in our university. I was hitting a lot of CodeChef problems, and at that time, CodeChef has three types of contest in starting of the month and ending of the month, and meanwhile there were starters. So cook-off, lunchtime, and starters. There were three types. But I was not performing so well. Like 2-star, 3-star ratings were there back in my first and second year of college. But I was stuck in a rating graph where I am not able to solve more than 2-3 problems in a contest. Suddenly I continued. Meanwhile, I got into development. I made some clones, some good projects, and when I come back to the competitive coding, my performance was suddenly dropping. So what I did was I started practicing once again on CodeChef. Only at that time, CodeChef was very popular back in the 2021 days. I started practicing on CodeChef, but again, 3-star was I was stuck in the 3-star only. But suddenly there was a IIT Bombay contest, and they have organized a contest, and it was actually tough contest. People were not performing well, and that on the CodeChef only. But I performed well, and I became 4-star. And these generation might not realize, but at that time, CodeChef 4-star was you can get referrals for any MNCs. That was a badge. CodeChef 4-star was a badge that you can get referral for any MNC, and that was a big motivation point for me. I knew that in next contest my performance will drop. I will not be no longer 4-star, but I will try to make that. I will try to maintain that. And the same happened in next contest. Once again 3 star, and then once again 4 star. I worked really hard. So what I did is I go to the past contest, I try hard problems, medium hard problems, and then I perform the code. So entire day only competitive coding. Meanwhile, if lectures are having 10 minutes break, then competitive coding. Lunch break, competitive coding. Before sleep, after sleep, in morning, everything was for me. It was like this is the only thing which I want to do, because apart from in college, usually if you study for 1 week, it's more than enough. It's more than enough to crack exams, right? So even the day before exam, I was appearing for Google Code Jam, and there are 2 3 contests Google were hosting, and I was appearing in that. So kind of not that much good in academics, but I was very good at competitive coding at that time. And then I got motivated by this stuff. I was getting throughput, by the way, from the competitive coding. So what I did is I picked up one blog on the Geeks for Geeks that had all the problems, all the topics of the competitive coding. That okay, there is segment tree, there is graph, there is tree, there is stack, there is disjoint set union, and every medium hard topic. Even I learned the topic which are still not used. Even after 2 3 years, I have not solved any problem on that. But I picked that blog, and every topic I read, I watched the YouTube videos on that. I solved problem on that. So in 1 month, everything was known to me. So I am talking about January 2022. Coincidentally, at that time, the world's number one competitive coder tourist, which is Gennady Korotkevich, he got the highest rating on the Codeforces. It was 3900 at that time. So that was a barrier. No one crossed 3900 on Codeforces at that time. And I was also practicing in the same month. January 2022, I completed all the topics, was learning algorithms, data structures, implementing and solving problems, and all like that. And then after a few days, I realized that, okay, now there is nothing new. I just have to practice, because everything was covered in that era. Because I told that I was motivated by those contest results, and but yeah, that was more than enough motivation or kick for me to ace in the competitive coding. And gradually 4 star, 4 star to 5 star, and then it took me 2 contests only to be expert on the code forces. So on pupil to specialist in one contest, and then specialist to expert in one contest, because I told, right, everything was new, known to me. So I just have to practice. And then so after doing that, yeah, I started code forces, and very soon I became expert on code forces. Yeah, after that, not much progress on code forces, because then I got internship offer. Then I did summer internship in one startup. A lot of stuff happened. That there was a coding club going in my university. I became president of that. I was also campus ambassador in my university. So that happened, and then suddenly MasterCard came in the next semester, and I got internship opportunity in MasterCard. I have to thank competitive coding and DSA for both the opportunity, internship and startup. And then in Mastercard, both the competitive coding played very very well role. So usually what happened, they were taking one coding round, then 2 interview rounds. But in my first interview round itself, they liked my performance based on the problem solving skills and whatnot. So in that only they selected me, and then directly HR round. So I have to thank competitive coding in each phase of my life. So I am talking about third year currently, where just entered in the third year, and I am having a placement offer. So it was win-win situation for me. So now I had 1.5 years extra in college to do nothing other than pursuing hobbies. So then kind of AI and ChatGPT was coming in that era only. 23 was ChatGPT era, and AI was there. 2 research papers, 4 AI products, again, and competitive coding side by side. And then I started giving back to the community. That okay, I am now decent competitive coder, or now I know little bit more on the DSA, then let me give back to the community. So we were taking sessions, we were hosting contests, we were guiding juniors that they are also following, because if you are going in some MNC due to competitive coding, then definitely they will hear you, they will ask for the guidance, and it feels very soothing when they seek for your guidance, and next year they are in the same company as you are. So it feels very good, even not only for the Mastercard, but to all other juniors who tell that okay, since your guidance or looking at you, we got inspired, and we are at this place now. It feels so good. So kind of I was into the not me only, but collectively we were making that environment like IIT in the DDU, of course with the college support. But yeah, I side by side, because now I had the offers. I had to do not much things, so I focused on the academics. And in last 2 years, most of the semester I was 10 out of 10. That was my parents' dream. Basically, they are like, okay, you need to do in good in academics as well. So my father used to call me before exams, said, don't appear for the contest, just study for exams now, because tomorrow is your exams. Yeah, so that. So for that I wanted to give them a surprise. So I just focused more on the academics. And then it was like I had a good offer from the placement. I had a pre-placement offer from MasterCard only. I published a two research paper, and with that I got three gold medals from DDU, because I was the first in entire college. So it was kind of a dream for my parents for academics. So I completed that, and for my dream, it was competitive coding. So I am into now the as well. So yeah, before Mastercard, that was the journey throughout, which is the golden period, or you can say it gave the wings to my life.
That's really great story. Now, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you did a fascinating research on getting computers to understand the Gujarati language. That's what the story there, and what made you to tackle that specific challenge.
Yeah, so there was a project which you give a Gujarati sentence, and it will give you grammatical structure of that. So what happened that when I came back from Mastercard with offer, so I thought let's contribute something in the AI. So I met my placement officer and sub HOD. Those professors are too good. Some of them are graduated from IIT Bombay as well. So they told me that we have this Gujarati data set that is homemade in the university proprietary data set. If you can train a model and work on this one, then we can go ahead for the paper. And at Mastercard, one of my mentor he was from SVNIT Surat. So he also published a paper like this. So I was like, I will also do that going back to my college. And there was a Gujarati data set, and I just had to train the model. So I was good at implementation in Python, as I did CP in Python as well, Java as well, and CPP as well. So I was good at implementation. So so those professors were doing the architecture of the model, and I was implementing that. So kind of design versus development or training. And then that was the part of that project. And we published that in a journal. And then one more, there was one ancient mythological model we trained. That was a VHN AI. And then a few more were there. My father and mother both are teachers, so I trained one. I made one kind of visual model which takes picture of the student's answer and then give marks accordingly to reduce the overhead, because I every day see them to they are checking the student's mark sheet and they are evaluating the answers. So to save the time, I did that. Then I all of us are passing from the college, so I also made one tool which was handwriter AI. And what it do is you give it the sample handwriting, your capital and small alphabet and the digits, and it will write all the digital text to in your handwriting. So for journals I made that, but I never published that because of the chaos can happen. So I kept it with me only. But yeah, so those were four AI products which I built, and I was very happy building that. But yeah, not specific region for the Gujarati model, but the data set was in Gujarati. So apart from those four, two were actually a research papers.
Okay, that's really awesome. So speaking of GATE, you got an amazing rank of 2500. Are preparing or thinking about GATE. What's your biggest piece of advice for them? How should they approach the preparation if they have limited time?
Okay, so if I talk about myself, it was kind of added advantage in my case, because what the university I am, which is DDU Nadiad, it is top three university of Gujarat. So in the state, it is top three. That means that the education is already decent. So I studied only from the college PPTs, honestly, and I was doing internship at that time, so I had only a week to revise. Even the day before gate, I was working at the internship, the company where I had the last 6 months internship. So and the they were telling that if you have a gate tomorrow, you can shut down the laptop and you can prepare for the gate. So yeah, so I was not much focused for the gate, but honestly, only college PPT and few videos of gates measures and the sample question paper from, I think it was IISc Bangalore at my time. Yes, and I skipped the 2 3 subjects, but if I haven't skipped, then definitely 500 or 1000 rank would be there, or even lesser than that. But I could not complete in the 2 or 3 days the preparation because I have to revise 5 or 6 semesters entirely. So and I was into the work as well. So kind of I was afraid to give for the exam, but my parents were forcing me that okay, you should go, at least you should try it. I said no, I'm not prepared, but they are saying that just go and just appear for the problem set. Sometimes it might be easy, sometimes it might be. So in this way, they were convincing me, and I gone to appear, and I didn't expected that I will even get 2,500, but yeah, it was 2,458 something like rank. But yeah, it in my case only academics helped me because. As I said, I after I got the offer and even before I got the offer, I was good in the academics. So I in each semester I was focusing on the core CS fundamentals. Also for the interview, it is required. So core CS fundamentals were already clear in the college, but only college content, according to me, for revision. But those who are not from the decent college, they can definitely refer either some of the courses or some of the tutorials on YouTube, or they can take some uh, they can take some test set or test series to practice. Maybe there are a lot of available, but in my case I didn't have time, or I was not appearing for masters, but I just gave to test my CS funda.
Okay, that's great. Now you have landed at MasterCard and now working as a full-time engineer. What was the biggest surprise you got at MasterCard? Like, which was not expected by you, but it was all sudden happened to you.
Yeah, so usually when a competitive coder writes code, that's not much readable because they write in 5 10 minutes, they solve a problem. So readability is one thing which I learned after joining Mastercard. System design, latency, throughput. Sometimes you not have to optimistically write the solution, but you need to write the readable code. It's fine if performs little bit safe, but you need to write the scalable code, you need to write the code which is generic, which is extendable in future. So that those software engineering practices are not known. So first surprise for me was not always it is not optimum, it is generic, it is scalable, and it is readable code. It's not always optimum code. So sometimes we write optimum, but what if it is not able to, if someone else is not able to figure out when something is going on the production. So that's something. But coming back to the question, which is surprise. Oh yeah, I didn't aware about this fact that context is king in corporate. There is one very famous line which is context. Context is king in corporate. That means that even if you are so much intelligent, you need to gather a lot of domain knowledge. Let's say if I am in fintech domain, I need to gather a lot of knowledge on the how digital payments works, how transactions work, how what happens when consumer swipes their card or consumer tap and do the tap and pay. So lot of you need to gather. It's okay if you do not know the Bellman-Ford algorithm of graph, but it's not okay if you are not knowing your internals of your product which you are working on, because at the end developer has to understand a so be always all MNC works in this way, being consumer in the center. So from the consumer perspective, that was the biggest surprise for me. I thought only optimum and only DSA would be helpful in the corporate, but biggest surprise was this context is the most one. Matlab, whoever is knows more about domain and product, they can make more such decisions. I did not aware, so that was a surprise, and I haven't expected that the exposure which I got in last 1.5 years is tremendous, is amazing. The culture is so good. They accept me very well. So I being SD1, sometimes I go for the higher environment issues, and I have fixed some of them. So kind of trust which higher management is having on me, it was second surprise for me that if I am considering this case, that if I am at a very high position, and if someone is going in production, can I give it to someone who is 6 or 8 months of experience or 1 year of experience? Maybe the answer can be no, but they trust me very well. So, and I have solved many such issues in higher environment and stopped the bleeding in the production. So yeah, the benefit is you get to know a lot more about skill. So if you are writing 5 lines of code today, maybe that code will be impacting millions of transactions after some month. So whenever it goes, so we need to be very careful while writing the code. We need to be very mindful. We need to very specific. It's not that okay, any new technology coming in the market, we will adapt that. It's not like that. So we need to be kind of very concise and precise on whatever we are doing in day to day. But yeah, these were the two surprises which I have. Their trust on me, honestly, and that the context or domain knowledge, we can say.
I want to dive a bit into a practical side of getting a job like yours. Let's talk about resumes. I guess you got a lot of resumes for referral. From your experience, what's one or two common mistakes you see on resumes?
I think this is very simple, but most of the time I am getting 2 page resume. I think the resume should be only 1 page. Let me give an example. I did 4 internship, and this is I am full time, which is fifth currently, right? There are 4 AI projects. There are three other dev projects. There is 2 research paper. My resume is 1 page. How can yours be the 2 page resume, right? So despite of having 1 year of experience or 20 year of experience, your resume should be only 1 page, right? That is the one. You can split your resume in the two sides, or you can have a single page resume. But what considering this way that if you are a hiring person and you are having 1,000 resume, how can you scan, right? So on you have only couple of tens of seconds to read the resume. So the most important thing on the top left side and the less important thing on the bottom right side. That's the one. Your experience matters more than your graduation. So if IITs are there, then okay, there is a tag. But the experience, that means the internship experience you did in the past or your past job, that matters more than your projects and than your education. Then comes whatever achievements you have, the projects you have. Let's say if I am a competitive coder, I will write that okay, I am 5 star at CodeChef, okay, I am guardian at Leetcode, I am expert at Codeforces. I will write, but it will be coming after experience. And something that grammatical mistakes must not be there. There should be action words. That means okay, I did this enhancement which improved 30% performance in my production environment or something like that. So we need to mention the numbers. We need to go by a data points, not the randomly that okay, I did and it worked very well. It should not be subjective. It should be in the numbers. That was the one. And whatever projects you are making, make sure your resume and the GitHub profile both are being read by the interviewer or the hiring person. So LinkedIn profile, resume, and your GitHub profile all should be in sync. It should not be like one is saying something. Let's say one is saying DSA and one is saying only dev, and one is saying okay, this person is doing open source. It should not be like all three should be in sync. And what else? I think skills. Yes, skills we can mention according to the company. Let's say if Java company is coming, you can mention Spring Boot in the first. If Python company is coming, you can mention maybe Google Colab and AI at the first, or Django in the first, and JavaScript is coming, then Merge Stack or Mean Stack in the first, and all those stuff. And now it is like one slight added AI flavor in the project, like something of AI can be catchy for an interviewer. So we can add that as well. But yeah, that's what. But what happens? Some silly mistakes we can definitely avoid. Let's say link is not clickable or something like that. That I got most of the time. So that's something we can avoid.
That's really helpful. And what about referrals? How important they are really? And what's the right way to ask someone for a referral?
Honestly, in my case, it's very tough for me to process the referrals. Actually, every week I get 200, 300 requests. So definitely I'm not able to process most of them. So what people are doing, they just go ahead and they just ask for the referral. And that's not the right way. Honestly, referral works when the person who is referring is closely known to the manager, or he or she is closely working with the team which is having opening position. So it's not like I am working in the Vadodara office, Gujarat office, and if I am referring to the Bangalore or Pune office or Noida office or Gurugram office, definitely it will make less significance than someone from that office refers. So location matters. You need to reach out the right person at right location, at right team. So you usually openings are having tags that okay, this department is having opening. So you can do some extra work and you can find the person from that department. If that does not work, then person from that location. But this is the way we need to ask for the referral, because if we want to get, so if someone just refers and just does not tell anything to the HR or manager who is having hiring position, it is not going to work for sure. 100% it will not work. Someone has to go and personally say that okay, this is the position and I have a friend, he or she is so much better in this, and we, if we want, then we can take him or her. This is the way, that is the most impactful way. It increases your chances. But sometimes what people do is just randomly they come and then ask for the referral, and if you don't want to deny, then you just refer on the portal and do nothing. So but that does not make any impact actually.
Great. I got to know a new thing today. Thank you for this. And based on that experience, if you could send one message back to every final year student getting ready for interviews, what would it be?
DSA is still the reality. AI is not going to take the coding round, at least for some amount of time. So if AI is taking over for cheating, then definitely companies will go for on-campus rounds, for coding round as well. They will host on campus and they will disable AI. But there is, as of now, as of today, there is no such other filter than DSA which can shortlist three candidates from thousand candidates, right? If I am having only three opening in my team and there are 1,000 applicants, how can I go in each profile and see whether he or she is having Java experience, he or she is right or not? So the DSA is the only measure to find the right candidate today. If not find the right candidate, to filter the right candidate, if I would say honestly. So DSA is still the reality. Apart from DSA, why competitive coding? Because contests gives you the pressure which you are having in the coding round. So in coding round, in 1 hour you need to solve 3 or 4 problems, or in 1.5 hours you need to solve 4 or 5 problems. The same situation is there in contest. You need to solve that. To get the practical experience how coding round is there, you need to start appearing for the contest. So therefore, that was on the DSNCP. Not only DSNCP, you need to be clear on the CS fundamentals as well. Sometimes people, what do they, just focus on the DSA and they don't go, they skip the lectures and they don't go for academics. I don't know what is the excuse of them. They say that college is not teaching properly, but actually if you just sit and if you just hear 5-10 keywords, then you can go ahead and search on the YouTube. But if you are not catching that as well and just studying before last night for passing exam, that CS fundamental is not going to help in your when practical questions come for the multi-threading, you will not be able to answer what is the difference between thread and process. So theoretically you can answer, but practically you will not. So also this point brings me a very important point, that try to use DSA in your real life. Try to use your CS fundamental knowledge in your real life. Try to optimize, try to enhance. So one of the example in my one of the company past in the internship, I had to optimize one UI. In that, if any person changes the movement, I need to showcase the error. At that time, I used the hash map. So it is very simple. Using hash map made the code very simple rather than list and appending the next. I just pointed from the last to the next. It was very simple solution. But if we are utilizing our DSA knowledge in this way, so one more example I would like to give to use algorithms in real life. So we were at one club, and we had to hire a new committee, and we had a lot of we had a Google form. It gave us hundreds of students sheet and hundreds of rows we need to process. So someone told that okay, we divide in 5 persons. This person will choose the best candidate from this 20 and whatnot. I said no, let's use Panda from Python. Let's convert Excel to CSV. Let's read that CSV, sort in the descending order, and then filter out all the candidates. let's give our criteria to the code. And rather than those people wasting 2 3 hours, it just solved in like say 10 or 15 minutes of code. So using DSA, using automation in day to day life, you can tell such examples in interview as well. When someone asks that what is the use of segmentary in real life, there are actually use of segmentary in real life. Google uses segmentary a lot. So search algorithms, and whenever we want to optimize something, so if kind of problems we if we want to answer, then we need to start using DSA in our day to day life. So there are many recursion is used in many places, and lot more. So that is what I need to tell, that DSA is still important. Competitive coding contests are still important. Despite of AI is coming, don't stop that. And CS fundamentals are still important, because at the end we are software engineers. We need to develop the code, right? Which will deal with DB, MS, and OS and computer networks. So we need to be clear on our at least our fundamentals. That's what my final message is. And to those who are doing cheating in the coding round, definitely they will get eradicated in the upcoming round. So uh, we don't need to worry about that. I have seen that in real in the very recent, because we also do hiring and we also take the freshers from the colleges. So yeah, that was all.
So DSA and CS fundamentals is the key. You have achieved so much, and I'm sure a lot of people look up to you, but everyone has moments of doubts. Have you ever struggled with that feeling of not being able good enough? And if so, what's your personal trick for getting through it?
Okay, so I would like to tell the very recent example of mine. I would like to give my example that since 1.5 years I am in software engineering and mostly dealing with fintech only, right? So I was kind of detached with the competitive coding and whatnot. And recently I thought that let's get it on once again. And I sat for a day and I started solving lead code from morning, and till night I solved the lead code only. So that in that way I got the warm up, and now I am feeling very safe that okay, I am still able to do whatever I was doing in my college. Improving is the second step, maintaining is the first step. So I need to maintain whatever I have gained so far. So I need to maintain, it should not decrease. If it is not increasing, it should not decrease at least. Right. So that is the one. And whenever the doubt comes on the self, definitely take a small break. Take a small break and pursue your hobbies. For example, my hobby is competitive coding, or my hobby is, let's say, cycling. So I will go for that for a day. I will take a break from work for a day, and then I will pursue that. I will come back, and it will be having some different approach than earlier. So that's what. Otherwise, consistency is the only thing to achieve anything in life. So we need to be consistent.
Yeah, consistency is the key. One last question, Home. If you could go back in the time and give one piece of advice to your first year self, what would it be?
I think it was all good. I don't want to tell him, the younger version of mine, anything. I think it was more better. Version 3 years ago was probably more better than I am now. Because when the moment you start earning, you start to find comforts. You start to find, okay, now I need to be relaxed. Saturday, Sunday, let me do nothing. In college days, all 7 days you are doing competitive coding and whatnot. So yeah, that home 3 4 years ago, that home was very ideal. Maybe I need to learn from him. But yeah, one thing I would like to say to my younger version 3 4 years ago is confidence. So confidence is something which I gained after I joined MasterCard. So how to talk with the person who is your manager's manager, let's say your very level up, how to talk with them without being afraid, how to sell yourself, how to sell your solutions, so that they know that okay, this person is very very early in his career stage, but still knows a lot of things, still very optimum, still knows lot many other stuff, still is he's able to solve a lot of stuff which many of experience are not. So we need to make that impression. So if I need to go back in my earlier versions, that confidence was very very less, and now that confidence is there. So confidence, and I would say not confidence but self confidence. Self confidence plus sometimes you need to do decision making, and if you are weak at decision making, definitely you are going to struggle. So at times you need to choose the right thing, you need to make the right decision. Okay, I need to choose this company or that company, you need to make that decision. So self confidence plus decision making. And honestly, you need to be disciplined for sure if you want to achieve something. It's not like that entire year I will watch Netflix and at the end of the year I will get place. It's not going to work. Definitely we need to skip something to achieve something. So for me, it I was lot many sacrifices you need to do. Let's say if your friends, your roommates are going for night outs, or they are going for parties, or they are going for, let's say, lunch, dinner, but you are having contests, so you need to sacrifice something on that. And that I sacrificed, and I can see the results as of now. So yeah, sacrifice is something. But to a younger version of myself, confidence, yep, confidence is something. Which, if there is two things. If the college life is very disciplined, your corporate will be very easy. If your college life is not disciplined, your corporate life will get disturbed.
Okay, thank you. Well, Om, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on, for being so open, and for sharing your incredible journey.
Yep, thank you.
Listeners, you absolutely need to follow this guy's journey. You can find Ohms on Twitter, LinkedIn, and GitHub. All the links are waiting for you in the description. And remember, every great engineer, every innovator, every leader you look up to once sat where you are now, trying to figure out the next step. So don't just follow the stories you hear, go like you own. This is Silicon Stories, and I'm Vedant. Thanks for listening. Dream big, develop often, and never stop creating.